Okay, let's do it this way. All right, my name is Seraphine. Those of you who haven't met me, welcome to my channel. I promised this video on Friday. It seems like I'm always running late with my promises, but hey, the girl's got to eat, so I do other things, and then I take care of this after, okay? Those who have been waiting, please have some patience, have some grace as I take my time, I take care of other things, and then I come on with this one, okay? So I promised to talk to you about how to immigrate to work in Canada. Some of you are sending me the questions after I sent this post that has had people send me all sorts of questions. Now, again, I have to say that I'm not an immigration consultant. I'm here helping you with information that I have, because this is a process that I started before I immigrated as a student, okay? So here's the process. First and foremost, you need to understand that moving to Canada to work is a point system. Now, the point system is based on various aspects of your qualifications, and that includes your academic qualifications, it includes your age, it includes the languages that you speak. But you know, it's not only that. There's also other aspects of you that you may not be aware of. And while it's a point system, nobody can claim that they know everything that's considered by the government when they're looking at your application. The point system helps you understand, it's very windy here. The point system helps you understand whether or not you qualify. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Even if you don't qualify to come in on the point system, which is the pathway that is used for immigration to work here, it's called express entry. Even if you don't make it through that pathway, there are other pathways which I've discussed in other videos, and I will continue to discuss if you are interested in this. Now, what I'm talking about today is called express entry. That's what is used by those who are coming to work in Canada. And it could be any kind of work. It could be professional work, which means you're a doctor, you're an engineer, a scientist, and all those professional trades. You could, or you professional pathways, but you also be a tradesperson. You're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a bricklayer, and those kinds of trades. You also are eligible to come and work in Canada. So one of the things you need to be aware of is that you need to understand the point system. And the point system, you can take a look at this and look at how you qualify based on free point evaluation systems. There's one that you can use. It's by Cohen Campbell Company. I think it's a law firm. I'm going to put the link in the comments. I haven't done that. You can see that after this video. But you need to understand how many points you need. And these points, the cutoff changes from draw to draw. So there's a draw every so often. It used to be every 3 weeks. I'm not sure what it is right now. You can check on that. And once you get involved with Canada Cohen Campbell Immigration Company, what they will do is they will send you emails after that. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to work with an immigration agent. You don't have to, because obviously it does cost money. You can do this on your own, and that's what I'm going to try to help you do. The reason I'm suggesting you look at what Cohen Campbell has is so that you see where you lie on the point system. Usually it's between 430 and 450 points that help you qualify. And you can take a test, and that test is a no obligation test. It's free, although you have to put in your email address, and they will now after that send you emails. When you give your email address to people, they're going to use that to send you information about their company, about their services, in the hope that you're going to enroll and work with them. It's business, okay? But you're not obliged. You can decide to, and you decide not to. There's no issue with that. So if you want to do that, try that. I'm going to put the link down below. But you can also go to government, and I insist, go to the government website. And the way to identify that is you'll see it's .ca. Okay, if it's .org, .com, .anything, because when you put immigrate to Canada or work to Canada, when you do that in the search, a lot of things will come up. Any of those that are not .ca, which means it's not a government site, it means that it's somebody else who is going to sell you the service of helping you come to work in Canada, which means they will evaluate where you are, they will look at that based on what the government is looking for and help you do that. But there is no guarantee, I repeat, there is no guarantee that if somebody helps you process your papers, that you are going to come in because they have helped you. No, it's a service like any other. You can go to anybody online and have them do your resume or anything like that. It's the same thing. There's no guarantee. Nobody can guarantee you that. So just be aware of that. It's a service you pay for. It ranges from 2,000 to 4,500 depending on which lawyer you use. Some lawyers are better than others because they've been doing this for a longer time. They have a greater success rate. So you need to do your due diligence. Go onto their websites, look at the reviews. Obviously, some reviews usually can be manipulated. People put reviews that they're not reviews that don't favor them. So be aware of that as well. But you need to do your due diligence. If you have money, please do it because it just helps you do things a lot faster. But if you don't have that kind of money, let's talk about it. So check on your academic qualifications, okay? If you have a high school degree, a high school diploma, you're going to need to have that check. If you have a bachelor's, your first degree, your second degree, you have a PhD, wonderful. All those need to be checked by a company called WES. There are other companies, but I recommend WES because they do it fast enough, all right? Then you need to have a police report to make sure that you have not been involved in any criminal activities. And then you need to have some money so that when you're approved, you can pay for that. And that rate, you need to check on the government website. I'll put the link for you again in the description. I haven't done that already. But the process is very clear. It's lengthy, I will be honest. It's very lengthy. It requires a lot of paperwork. You need to be very keen. But you can do it on your own if you can spend the time. Look, in all of these things, you either spend the time or you spend the money. Either way, it costs you. It's either going to cost you on time or it's going to cost you money. If somebody else has to do it for you and help you through the process, they're going to charge you. If you do it yourself, it's going to take time and effort on your part and going to take a lot of organization on your part. All right? Now, the draws are every 3 weeks. I'm not sure if that process has changed now, but every time there's a draw, it changes the cutoff points. It could go from 430 to 450. Sometimes it drops depending on, you see, the government has a quota on how many people they want to have coming in, okay? Because there's a requirement for workers in various sectors. So that informs how many people the government wants to come into the country from wherever it is they are. And that sometimes will raise that cap, and sometimes it will lower it, okay? Because depending on what you're coming to do here, you may not hit the very high points. And someone has asked me whether they can come and work, they can get a job and come and work here. The honest truth is that yes, you can, but it's very hard. You need to have the kind of qualifications that are really, really rare and hard to find here. If a company hires you while you're outside of Canada, they have to go through hoops to get you here. They have to prove that that job cannot be done by somebody who already lives in Canada and is a resident of Canada and is a citizen of Canada before they can offer that job to somebody who is outside of Canada. That proof is a long process that most companies will not want to get into building. You know, it takes time and effort, and even then, there's no guarantee that they're going to get you in here, that there's no guarantee that it's going to be approved, you know? So most companies will not want to do that, okay? Yes, there's a site that tells you you can apply, and there are companies that are looking for workers, and they will employ people who are already in the process, and yes, they could come, but it's not exactly the way you want to do it. It could take a really, really long time. You have to have very specialized qualifications that are not easy to find. Unless you have those, don't bother with that process. That's my best advice to you. Get here first, okay? In fact, even as you get here, you want to work in a specific province, you may be applying for jobs in that province while you're in a different province. And this happened to me. They will look at your resume, but they will not even invite where they want you. You move to that province, you start getting a lot of invitations to interviews because now you're within their range and they can be sure that you're going to be available when they need you, okay? So please be aware of that. Now, once you get everything, and you have to get your English confirmed, so there's your academic qualifications, okay? You need those confirmed. It takes 4 weeks for West to do it. After you create your account with West, it takes 4 weeks. But That is 4 weeks after you have your university or your examining body for your fourth grade, for your 12th grade, or your Form 4 living certificate, depending on where you come from and what you call it. That's a high school diploma. Okay, so there's a governing body that takes care of the examinations. They have to send your results directly to WES. Okay, that could take a week or two, depending on how fast they respond. Your university could take some time as well if you have a bachelor's degree or a second degree or a PhD. But if you have a degree, it is easier to meet the point system. Okay, because the more academically qualified you are, the more desirable you are, the more points you gain. If you have French, depending on where you want to live, in fact, it doesn't even matter where you come and live. If you have French and you want to come to Canada, it does raise your points. If you are young meaning you're under 30 years old, it does raise your points. 25, 26, 27 is very ideal for that point system because you score very highly. The minute you get to 35, you start to drop on the age metric of the point system. If you have kids, yes, it helps because there's a prospect of those kids coming to live here, grow up here, study here, and work here. If you have a spouse who does have qualifications, that helps you as well. They have a high school degree, not so much. If they have an undergrad, it helps you. If they have a master's, it helps you. If they have a PhD, it does help you. If you're experienced, it helps you even more. Now, the experience conversation is a long one, so I'm going to do another video for that because it could take a while. There is the NOC system, which I need time to explain because it can be very confusing. So I'm going to do a separate video for that. I don't want to make this video too long. But it does help if both of you, if you're traveling here as man and wife, it does help if both of you have degree qualifications. If you don't, it will lower your points. Okay? Now, if you're young, it really is helpful. If you have relatives here, it's also very helpful if you have relatives. And relatives means brothers, sisters, or parents, not cousins, not aunties. Again, not cousins, not aunties. If you have lived in a different country for more than 6 months, you will need not just a police report, but also an Interpol report from that country, okay? And Interpol reports take a very short while, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, so that's not going to be a problem. But if you're going to do this on your own, you're going to open an account. You're going to open your own account in the government website. I will put the link down below. That account will last you 3 months. So do not open that account on the government website until you have taken time to collect all these other qualifications that they require of you. Okay, I'm going to go over this again. That is your academic qualifications already certified by WES. All right, then your police report. Okay, and you want to make sure that if you've lived outside of your country for more than 6 months, you have an Interpol report of good conduct from whichever country that is. All right. And then if you have relatives, make sure that they are brothers, sisters, or parents, okay? Now, if they're step parents, that can work. If they're step siblings, that can work as well, all right? Now, if you want to know how you score on the point system, go on to the Cohen Immigration Law website and take the free evaluation. They will tell you how many points you score and then decide how to apply based on that, okay? But don't go open the government account if you haven't done all those things. Whichever way you go, whether you go through a lawyer or you do this directly on the government website, you are going to need a government account, okay? If you go through a lawyer, you can decide whether or not they own your account. They administrate your account and then they send you information, or you own your account and then they will help you separately. Because if they own your account, it means that you don't have access to information from the government. They do, and then they have to send it to you. There is a form that you need to consent to if you want your broker or your agent to be the one in charge of your account. Be very careful about this, because depending on the lawyer you use, this could hurt you eventually. You want to own the account. Let's really trust that lawyer. Unless you look at their reviews and decide that, okay, you can trust them, then you can let them handle your government account. But if you've done this directly, if you've ever done anything that requires a laborious writing process, if you've done a thesis, for example, this is going to be something that's easier for you to do. If you haven't, it's a lengthy process. Can you do it on your own? My best answer is yes, okay? Especially if you don't have 2,000 and above to spend. I would say try to do it on your own. If you really can't, and there's honestly no reason why you can't, if you really can't, then work with an immigration consultant or an immigration lawyer to help you do this. I hope this is helpful. Somebody's going to ask me, how old is too old to come and work in Canada? People here work until they're 65 years old. So you decide, and even after 65 years old, some people decide that they can continue. Depends on how much money you've saved, whether you can go into retirement without worrying about whether you're going to pay your mortgage, if you're paying your mortgage, whether you're going to eat, whether you have your RSP, and that's a whole other conversation that I'm not going to have in this video. It's like your 401k for those who live in America. It's like your retirement benefits, let me call it that way. Okay, so depending on where you are with that, you're going to decide, hey, I can retire earlier. But really, if you're 50 years old, you're 55 years old, you're thinking of immigrating, I'm sure it's not for you, it's for the children. Come. Okay, if you're thinking about doing it, it's because you feel that the future here is going to be better for your children. Don't look at your age as an issue. Come, bring the kids. If you deem that it's going to be better here for them, it will be better. In a different video, I'm going to talk about what the benefits of living in Canada are, especially for your children, and why I decided that this was a good place for me to move to at 44 years of age. Okay, I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And to make a comment below or to ask a question, you do need to subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye for now.